Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? We're going to be doing a diamond support VOD review today. Hopefully you enjoy, hopefully you learn something, and without further ado, let's get into the VOD. Alright, so first things first, we should talk about abilities, right? Even though it's very basic, it's nice to kind of give everybody a refresher, right? So you just always have that in the back of your mind when we think about Snowball. Snowball is a great crowd control tool. It's great for anti-dive. It's great for punishing people that are out of position, as well as punishing tanks who are leaving themselves open, right? It can allow your tanks to do things. And like I said, it can stop you from getting dove, or it can stop things that have dove you from getting out, right? So, with that being said, on to the shift. That is going to be her clap ability. That's going to turn her primary fire into a piercing shot, right? Now, that heal can now pierce your allies and enemies, allowing you to do more, in a sense, a very fine AoE healing, right? And that's about it, but it also heals you as well. So in my opinion, that's a great tool to also duel people, as well as just kind of keep yourself topped off so you're not low for too long, especially when your other support is unable to heal you. Same thing with Snowball. That ability also gives you a small heal as well. Keep that in mind in terms of min-maxing things. Those abilities can give you some self-sustain. And then your mark, right? Snowflake, whatever, but we'll call it mark. With your mark, right? That's going to usually go onto the character on your team that is going to be the most flank heavy, right? So you could argue you could put it on the Hulk, but putting it on the Wolverine, especially in the beginning, if he's looking to get a play where he grabs somebody and pulls them in, then that's totally fine. But if, like I said, you can make the argument to put on the Hulk to allow him to play a little bit more aggressive, which is cool. But looking at your comp, this doesn't seem like a comp where you want to play too aggro. It kind of looks like a comp where you kind of want to build up ults and then play from there, right? Yeah, just bully things with your Wolverine, build the ult charge, and do the funny, right? Without further ado, we're gonna just hop right into it. I won't talk too much about ultimates because we don't know exactly what they're gonna run. But if they were to run this, your ult can obviously counter this. Your ult can obviously counter this. Your ult can obviously counter that, right? So in the cases you would be looking to counter these 9 times out of 10 if this is what they stay on. So I'm not a big fan of that snowball because you don't have the information that you need yet, right? Right as of right now, you don't know that they have a Star-Lord. And if Star-Lord were to come around, you have no way to realistically deal with him. Like, yeah, you can just out-mechanic him, but that snowball will buy you time for your team to come and help you. Without it, you're purely relying on just being a flat-out better player, and you don't want to rely on that. Also, not a big fan of your positioning here. Like, if we just kind of like zoom out a little bit, right? Obviously, I would say putting you on height would be pretty cool. Would be pretty cool because then, if you have people here to help you, you can play here, right? But without anybody kind of reinforcing that height, I mean, if I'm you, I mean, I don't see a problem with playing at this pillar here, right? Because you can heal things from here, right? If you do get forced out, you still have this angle, or you can kind of get to this angle here where you can heal your teammates. But I'm really not a big fan of you just kind of sitting in mid, because what happens is people that are like here can like if they're here they can shoot past the shield, right? All it takes is somebody to be at a different angle, and you can quite literally lose your life in the game, right? You're already almost half HP, so you're already taking too much damage as it is. So I'm not a big fan of you playing in the open like this, just because of the fact that you're taking too much damage. Yeah. It just seems like kind of like you're using that clap just to use it. Like I said, it's a piercing ability, so it'll be best used if you can get your teammates in a line, or if you can hit a teammate and hit an enemy at the same time. It's going to help you build your ult faster, things like that. As well as like I said, it gives you that sustain, right? So it's like just using it to single heal someone. I just don't think it's worth. Like, it does have a little bit more burst than your left click probably, which I don't even know exactly. But I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of the way you're using it currently. Once again, so you've used both of your survival abilities, and now there is a flanker in your backline. And now we have no survival abilities. Luckily, your Hulk peels. It's a nice freeze. Traded 1 for 1. We have your ult. Don't necessarily need to ult yet. I don't think we needed to ult yet. We definitely could have looked around a little bit more, got a better feel of what's going on. Because now what's going to happen is your ult's going to run out and Star-Lord's going to ult. And life's going to suck. Now this next fight, Star-Lord ult should be pretty free. Actually a little scary. See you later. Bam. And let's see where you die. You are dead in the open, right? I don't think I need to tell you why you're dead here and why you died here. Look at your position. You should have a pretty good idea why. On top of that, just not being aware of the ults that are up, right? We don't have any support ults, meaning that we do not have a way to deal with this. So we need to play in a way to where when we hear it, we have somewhere to go. Not just anywhere, somewhere safe, right? Because, bam, this pick here is huge. And not only because he gets a support pick, but because he gets you. And the only constant in your game is going to be you. So the only thing you can do is to make sure you're playing at the best of your ability so that you can make sure that you are putting yourself in the best position to win your games. Another habit I'm seeing from you a lot that I also see from my other supports is you jump a lot. And I know they don't have it right now, and the excuse or the response can be, well, they don't have anything that can punish me for it. Technically, they have a Hela right now, so they can. But by jumping, you are setting your momentum. By doing that, you're making shots on you very easy. And once players, as you start to rank up and players start to get really good at aiming, those shots are very easy. They're going to hit those. You don't want to give them those easy shots. You want to outstrafe them, right? You want to do a little whatever, right? You don't want to give them a little, Think of it as like a clay pigeon, because I know you know about this stuff, right? The little disc or whatever, right? When you shoot it in the air, are you trying to shoot it like when it's moving fast, right, or whatever? No, you want to shoot it at its peak because that's when it's slowest. It gets high, slows down, right, and then it starts to fall, right? So the perfect opportunity is to hit it within that peak. You know that. Same thing in the game. As you're jumping, right? There's a set point in time where your momentum is set and you are at your slowest, and that is the easiest time you will get hit. And if players notice that you have a habit of jumping a lot, they're going to start waiting for that. And I'm not just speaking out of my ass cheeks because I do it. When I play Hawkeye, when I play Widow, when I play Hela, if I notice that you're jumping, I'm going to let you jump and I'm going to put my crosshair where I think you're going to jump to, and you're going to jump right into it. And it's going to be the easiest shot of my life. And I'm going to feel insane after I hit that and you jump again and I hit another one. And I'm like, I can't be stopped, right? It's just, don't give them easy shots. Like, you want to be elusive. There will be times where you can mix in a jump. But when you make it a habit of jumping all the time, people will punish that. So we have our ult now, right? We need to be thinking about what ults we can look to counter. Obviously, with the power of hindsight, we know they don't have anything, but we should have an idea of what we're looking to counter here. Especially with our other support not having their ult up, our mindset should be the first ult that can kill my team, I'm going to counter. It's right there, a Wolverine just jumped on my backline. And we didn't even look at it. Like, this Wolverine might just kill 2 of your teammates. Luckily, he didn't. Thank the Lord. It's a good ult. You let your Hulk die. Brother. He's right there. And here comes the next ult. You need to leave. Yeah. There you go. So, you're just like really tunneled on that Hela ult. I think once you hear it, you need to leave. You did, you got out, right? And then from here, I feel like you could still do a lot for your team. Your team has to be aware of your positioning. Obviously, the best bet for you would be to get around this corner, but he probably still had a view because I think he was like about like right here. He could probably still hit you. So like it's just really rough. This is like the 100% the safest way you can go. But like if the most optimal, using the power of hindsight, would probably be like this way, because then you get out of like all his LOS in a sense, and the blast will be really hard to hit. But with that being said, I think after that, like you don't need to burn the hell. Oh, your strain is blocking shots, right? You've got to safety. If anything, your strange can block shots. He's about to fall down. He can fall towards you, right? And then from here, you guys can kind of like try to refight the car from here. Where he has two supports, he's gonna be very extremely hard to kill, right? And then your teammates can either try to come back or whatever. But yeah, I think you're trying to do too much as a support, and you got punished for it. Right, so your team's ulting for the objective, trying to stay alive. Lost one of your DPS. You need to get your mark out on something. On anything, on anything. Yeah. So yeah, you never got your mark out. I mean, yeah, you never got your mark out, and it's really important too because by throwing it on your Wolverine, right, as you're healing someone else, you're healing two people, right? Your healing's going through the roof. You're building more ult charge. Like that ability's so broken, right? No cooldown, right? Doesn't run out, right? You could have kept somebody else alive or at least healthier, so maybe they could have turned this fight or something like that. But yeah, I feel like you were really just focused on trying to heal tanks. You never got your mark out. Even if you would have got it on your tank, you would have kept your other tank healthier because of the fact that, you're healing one, it's healing the other. So make sure we're just getting that out. That mark is probably your most important cooldown. So as of right now, I would say the biggest things that I have noticed is just like you kind of move around, jump around a little too much, right? And you're trying to do too much as a support. This is also a problem that I have with support. Is I love to shoot. I love to build my ult charge in multiple ways. But as of right now, I'd probably consider you the main support. Due to the fact that I think Cloak just has a little bit more like team fighting utility, whereas you are more so just healing and peel. Compared to the cloak and dagger, he can make an aggressive play. He can blind the enemy. He can, which damage jams and yada yada yada. So I think right now you need to have the mentality shift of my job is to keep everyone alive. The cloak and dagger job is to be like the flex support, right? Like yeah, you can still make plays, but it shouldn't be to the point to where you're putting yourself in positions that don't make sense. Right now you lost a tank, which is unfortunate. As of right now, you need to quite literally just leave. There's really nothing you can do here. Yeah, you already lost two. So this is just you not being aware of your teammates that are alive. You lose two and you pop O here. Which is really sucky, right? And now we're just kind of staggering in. Need to live here. Ooh. Some would say like, oh, that ability is a waste, but I can see the thought process behind it, right? You wanted to self-sustain and you wanted to still be able to get healing out. So I'm not completely mad about that. I think it's fine. Could have been better, but I I see the thought process behind it. Oh, this is a great example of using that ability to not only do damage but heal as well. Even though you weren't doing too much healing because your team was relatively healthy. So a better use would be to make sure your team has some chip and then start using it. But like I said, don't want to be too nitpicky. I think it was alright. Oof. So anytime you change positions, like there needs to be a reason for it, right? Like even if it feels like you're like you walk up because your team walks up, right? But then like okay, now you're like not in the best position, right? Like why go this way, right? Compared to you can heal while maybe trying or like just run to this, right? It's like anytime you change a position, there needs to be a reason, right? You can't just change it because, right? Like okay, I get it, your team's here, right? But you're currently here. Is it smart to just run through mid when there's so many lines of sight that can see you and punish you for doing that exact thing? Probably not. You might have to just suck it up, chalk it up to, hey, I need to get out, right? So I can live. Because obviously you can heal your team as you're leaving, and if you really need to sprint, you can sprint. But the time that you will be out of the fight by doing this is about, like, let's say at most 7 to 8 seconds. If you die, you're gone for 11. About, right? Probably a little bit more. And I know the argument could be, well, like 7 to 8 that you're gone, right? Like you lose anyways, which I can see that as a possibility. But if you're dying, like it's just worse, right? When you can try to make a smarter play. So whenever you want to move, change a location, I know it's hard in the moment to think about it, but that's why you want to think about these things preemptively. Okay, I'm here. If I need to get out, where am I gonna go? What are my routes? What are my right? What are my escape plans? Because if you're just putting yourself in positions that you don't know how you're gonna get out, if you get into trouble, you're in a lot of trouble. And obviously, the more you play, you'll start to develop what I like to call protocols. And we'll try to make it as simple as possible. Let's say you were playing this position, right? You're very happy, right? But then this breaks. People are seeing you. You have two ways to escape: dropping here, right? Pulling back to here, right? And it's like the obvious answer is to pull back this way, right? But this is still an option, right? And there will be niche scenarios where probably going forward is the right because you have a peel and they can give you a bubble, whatever, right? But most of the time, without any resources, this is probably not a good idea, right? So it's like same thing with here. It's like if I'm playing over here, it's like, is it smart for me to just cross mid if I don't have confirmed resources to get me out? Do I need to take the stretch play? Do I need to get out? If I've taken damage and I realistically can't get out, should I back up and try to get this health pack so I can be a little bit more healthy, but still impact the team fight from far away? Because at the end of the day, your job's not to kill anything. If you die, that's bad, yeah. But as long as you're alive and you're giving value, you're giving value, right? Obviously, this positioning becomes really bad because your team falls back. Maybe you don't walk up there in the first place, but just going off of the what we have, right? That's why we're talking about these examples. We decide to come out here and ult. Oh, they do have ults coming up though, so it's like, do we need? I mean, I guess no, because we're already cloak and dagger at ulting, right? Like, where's the? Oh, we're using, yeah, we use both our support ults. But did she use hers before yours? Like, I use it at the same time. This is where communication comes into play. Because now we use both our support ults, right? And we're not able to really get anything done. Bang! Now we have no response to this. So it's really important to just vocalize what you're going to do before you do it, especially when it comes to ults. When you have two supports who have ults that do similar things, right? You don't want to accidentally pop them both. If you know that if you're ahead of that person, you know you're going to get it first. You know you want to use it for something, let them know. I'm going to pop ult for this. Don't pop ult. And if they do at that point. It's not your fault. You've come to the realization they don't listen to you, so now you're going to assume that they're going to pop it in those situations, and then you go after. Once again, I'm not a fan of the clap when your team's not low, because now you're just clapping into a shield, so you're not getting the piercing, right? You're not healing your teammates, and you're not damaging anybody, and you're not sustaining yourself. So you just use the cooldown for quite literally no reason. And that's a great cooldown. Leave. Leave. Okay, it gets blocked. Cool. You can shoot it. You're drifting here. You're ignoring the middle. I mean, at least make sure that they're not looking at you, because there is a hella here, right? And all it takes is a shot to put you low enough to where this guy can kill you on his own, right? So to make sure that we're being a little bit more head on a swivel about certain things. Making assumptions that you're just okay isn't going to work as you get better, because like I said, all it takes from certain characters is 1 to 2 shots to quite literally change a fight. Oof. Oh, are we drifting forward? You're a hit scan hero, right? Like, you don't need to drift forward like that. That could have been very scary. That Hulk could have quite literally killed you. Alright, so now we're on attack. And I do appreciate that you're up here looking for information. Because it's nice. You're giving yourself a better idea of how you're going to play the game. right? You saw the Hella. You know you got to make sure that you're near cover because, like we said earlier, 1 to 2 shots can quite literally change a fight, right? So now let's think about who we want to give a mark to. We give a mark to Wolverine. That's cool. Also, you're in a party with him. That is me. So you know, obviously it most likely be a little bit better to give somebody a mark when they're telling you exactly what they're gonna do. So think about it, right? Like we have to think about our positioning. Look where we're at, right? You like, there's no reason you should be like, drifting here. You're here, or you're in this going up to height, but like you cannot play on cards. You cannot play over here because these people can, with the power of friendship, quite literally erase you from existence. Oh, you're there for so long, and they're like all those shots that are missing. Better players aren't gonna miss that. So you can't use the excuse of, well, they're not hitting me, because the idea is to play as if they aren't going to miss until they prove that. But that doesn't excuse bad positioning. That more so would go into like dueling, right? Taking certain fights, right? Ignoring certain threats in the middle of a team fight because you're like, this guy's not going to hit the broadside of a barn. I don't have to look at him right now because I know he won't. But when we're talking about just raw improvement, you cannot, and I mean you cannot, ignore a Hella and and this guy staring down mid, because there's no way. There's no way. There's no way you should be alive here. You should explode. You should explode. And it's just the reality. You don't have any dive, so once you've figured that out, which I don't know if you have, you might have just thrown it to throw it. But let's say you do know they don't have any dive. I think freezes on tanks and like things are fine because you create openings in fights. We know we have ult, right? So this is an opportunity for you to talk to your support, kind of let them know what, whatever they're looking to counter. You don't need to. And if they're not in comms or they're not responding, you tell them what you're planning on countering, so that you can hold your ult for that. So she'll use her ult aggressive here. So now you know that you need to save it for a counter, like a Groot ult, which you can't really survive a Groot with those combos, so it'll be rough. It might just burn through your ult. Yeah, they pop ults here to walk forward, so it is what it is. With that mark out, there's like this is no good. You had a perfect opportunity to throw a mark on a DPS that in an aggressive position, and then while you're healing your two in that backline or healing your tank, you're basically giving him a mobile health pack, right? But it's like you're forgetting, when they die, that mark goes away, right? And every time you come back or they come back, you need to remark them because you're just a huge part of your kit you're not taking advantage of. Like, it's still not coming out. Skadoosh. Nothing you could do about that in regards to getting hit by the ult, but you're just too close to your team to the fact that you're getting grabbed like that. I also, hey man, you know the tradition. Isaac Ling, thank you for subscribing, man. I really appreciate you guys. Even if it interrupts the creation of a video, I like to show my supporters love. If y'all do pop up while I'm recording, I think it's cool. I think it gives people an opportunity to like feel appreciated, feel seen. So, yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I appreciate everybody. But I gotta give you a special shout out. Yeah. So when you get Groot ulted, and you realize that they have a Moon Knight, when you realize they have a Namor, right? You're probably gonna combo, right? As a Luna, you're not surviving that. Even if you ult, it'll go through it. You know, So you just gotta really keep in mind that if you get hit with that Grudo, you gotta wait and really see if that combo's gonna come, because if it comes, it'll burn through your ult anyways and it'll waste it. Like that is an example of, I would rather you not ult, and in that scenario it only kill you, and now when you come back you can use your ult in an aggressive way now because you know they don't have any ults now, right? Instead of using it and it instantly getting countered. So right here, you have a feeling that they're gonna push through height, which I think is a very good feeling. Do you think you should play on cart, right? If the threat can come here, right? Obviously, this is not broken, thankfully, but if they can come here and they can shoot you, probably not. If I'm you here, I'm getting off cart. I'm getting off cart. Will it be a little bit slower? Cool. Tank, get on cart. Wolverine, get on cart. Somebody else, get on cart. I don't want to be here if I know they're going to flank. I want to get like here, right? I want to get to an area where I can still see my team, right? And I'm safe. I have a health pack, right? I'm chilling. I'm vibing. You know, this extra speed doesn't matter if this hell comes around the corner and kills two. There they come. Now they're going to contest, right? You know, you flip sides, but you're still like in the open. You know, like everything you're doing, you could have been doing from here, from the safety. Fortunate that you're the one shooting the walls. Good freeze. You're not going to beat him. He's in an ult. Leave. You have a freeze and you had an opportunity to leave or get closer to a corner to give you some kind of cover. And if he does headshot you, you can quickly get a heal and then be ready to fight again. But like you're fighting somebody who has a cloak ult. You're not going to win. Not going to win. Clap. Also, if you see a Moon Knight jump up there like that, I think, I mean, I feel like it's okay to just respond with a clap. Because the only way he insta kills you if he onks hits, I mean, it hits if he's a god and hits all his shots, but typically it's gonna be onk left click right click by you popping your sustain, um, right? Because it's gonna sustain you not by clap, but just by popping the ability. So when you pop the ability, right, you can throw a clap, he gets the burst, and then you throw your right click. So now you're getting two sources of healing. You live through that engagement, right? You lived anyways. That's because you got snatched, right? But I think versus in certain matchups, you know that they're going to use a certain combo and they're going to use it the second they see you. So I think you can take gambles and use abilities that are going to help you in those engagements. Gotta love the BM. Good kill. Huge stagger by you and your team. Why are we ulting? Brother. Brother, what are you doing, brother? Why are you popping the ult? I pop the ult, brother. The team needs me, brother, not you, brother. But, brother, I can help. No, brother. I am helping. Alright, now that my schizophrenic episode is over, um, let's play this in slow-mo and let's just really see why we're popping over here. Sure. Like the clap, right? Like the clap, getting the shots in, right? While sustaining a little bit. You know that your cloak and dagger ulted, so you know that your team is, in a sense, unkillable, right? So we don't need to ult here, right? We're walking into the enemy cloak ult, right? We hear a whale, and we don't know where it's going. Realistically, if that whale lands on you directly, it's going to kill you anyways, but I understand avoiding the stun is cool too. But I think the error is walking in. I don't think you need to walk in. You can sit behind the cart and be a happy little camper and just do what you're doing from that you're doing right now from back there. Other than obviously you're not going to pop your ult and not be with your team, but you don't need to pop your ult here. You're popping your ult. If nothing dies, right, you're gonna have to fight a Punisher ult with no support ult, and that's gonna suck. Here it comes. He pops it way too early. But it's about to end, and here it comes. Oh, there's one. Yeah. So like, imagine you would have waited, and when you would have heard Judge, Jury, Executioner, right? Wait, pop my ult. Now your team doesn't die, right? Now you're cool. You're cool. You're cool, bruh. But instead, we use both support ults just to still lose the fight. Which is very demoralizing when you're popping two support ults and losing a fight. And that is GG, right? So, time to go into notes. Time to go into notes. Alrighty, and now for the notes, right? So the first thing is going to be positional awareness, right? Your position is going to be based on your team. Your job is to enable and support them. So moments where you're drifting into the open or in front of your tanks is a very easy way to go from very safe to dead in seconds. And I know you're a smart player, and it could be a case of autopilot, but you did do it a lot in that game. So we have to talk about it. Just be aware of lines of sight. As you get better, as you play the game more, you're gonna know that, hey, these characters can see me from here. I can't be in the open because, and I'll say it again and again and again. Once the competition rises, even a little bit, you're gonna get punished for that. And you can have the mindset of we'll cross that bridge when we get there, but you want to build these good habits now, right? So keep that in mind. Ult usage, right? You need to figure out what you're going to be countering as a support, right? Early, so you can already be aware of how the fights are going to play out. Ult wise, and talk to your other support, right? If you need to, on who's going to counter what, who's going to ult for what, how do you plan on using your ult, whatever, so that you can avoid those moments where you're stacking ults, right? Whether it's at the same time, whether it's shortly after each other. Support ults are so strong, right? And you can effectively make your team immortal for over 20 seconds, which is with two ults, right? So when you stack them, you take that 20 seconds, like let's say it's 12-12, let's say 24 seconds, right? You take that 24 seconds and you just cut it down. You cut it down to 12 when one already did that. So you're stacking two to get the same value or a little bit more. You're starting to get diminishing returns. It's no bueno. Now it's different if you have to pop your ult because the ult that an ult that they're gonna pop is gonna burn through that other support ult. So you need to like counter that ult while also keeping them alive. That's different. There's gonna be situations where you can do that, right? But in this game there wasn't any of those. So a lot of times you're using your ult, and then after that, the fight next, they're using ults that you could have easily countered, and you're losing fights, right? You could have maybe full held them if it wasn't for certain missteps. And another thing too that I really want to stress is popping. If the enemy team pops a support ult, and shortly after you pop your support ult with the mindset of, well, ours is going to outlast theirs, so we just win, it's not a good mindset to have, right? Because I can see the logic in that decision, but what we need to understand is it's more than just support versus support ult. If they're Luna Snow and I'm Luna Snow and they pop their ult, I wait 4 seconds, I pop my ult. Yes, I have gotten value because I can almost guarantee that my team can win that fight unless their team realizes that and they pull out, right? But now I have a Rocket Raccoon. I don't have a defensive ult anymore as my duo, right? So now there, Star-Lord is licking his lips because he's like, this motherfucker really Luna ulted a Luna ult. I'm about to pop off. Sometimes when they use ults that don't make sense, your response needs to be, hey, We need to respect it. It's an ult. We can't win this fight or we can't hard take this fight. We need to like get soft reset, give a little space, and aggress with an ult or aggress. And if they want to ult into our aggression, then we can counter it with an ult, right? So basically, now instead of going 1 for 1 with an ult, you're going, oh, they had to use 2 ults to force on my little ult. Now that's more value, right? Keep that in mind. And then counters and how to play around them. Scenarios, there will be scenarios where your ult will just get countered. So you need to be more creative about how you're going to use those ults. An example we can use is Cloak and Dagger. They have a Magneto. If you pop your ult, he's going to charge up that meatball, that meteor, and he's going to freaking slam dunk on you and erase you, right? So that's no good. So what Cloak and Daggers will do is they'll make sure that they have either a bubble to peel for them, they'll dash into locations where they can't be hit, or they'll use their cloak ability to go up in the air and then dash down because now you're just a harder target to hit. Can Magneto still hit you? He sure can, but it's just a way to kind of be more elusive. And then when it comes to Luna Snow, there will be some combos that can just quite literally eat through your ult. Moon Knight is a perfect example. Luna ult will never counter that. In its current state, I think Moon Knight's ult is bugged. You will never counter that ult. It does too much damage. Too much. On top of the fact that you have a Groot ult and you doing more damage, and if he's got a wall on you, that's even more damage, right? So it's like you're just taking so much damage that it's not worth to ult there. In that scenario, you just eat the 2 ults. You come back and now you have a free Luna ult. Granted, they don't have another ult you need to counter, right? Just get, hey guys, we have 12 seconds. Papa Mayo, walk forward, fight. We are unkillable. We are undefeatable. Whatever, right? Yeah. Very simple concept. But with that being said, that is going to be the conclusion of this video. For anybody else who's interested in getting a VOD review, you can submit a request and get a free one. In my Discord, the link will be down below if you're not in there already, right? And get your requests in so that we can get some VODs done. We can help you learn, help others learn through you. And yeah, hopefully you guys have, and gals, have a great rest of your morning, day, or night, wherever you may be. It's your boy, Coach Apxche, and I'm going to see you in the next one. Peace.